Emergency call can save lives in either your home, office, or neighborhood. What do? Without warning. So, in case of an accident, if someone operates personnel by calling the or 7C location, give your name and phone number, and very importantly, do not misuse the one. Remember the number. Remember, call 7C. The sound of Lagos.
And good roads. That
or empty
a few naira.
Future leaders will buy votes. Cannot sell.
Buying and selling. Let us prove that our mainland Nigeria.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Monday, the last edition of that day for the month. And ultimately, it's been about ourselves, a personal life. Is this what I settled for? Are these my expectations? And the fact that we've gone through the entire year with all of the last Monday edition of the situation. Good to have you guys on the show. My name is Waka. Anticipated media paracots. Eventually, Governor Seyi Makinde with his former friend and in-law. Exactly, he did that or this and that, and you expect that Barrister Wike was going to respond. Energy, he was all over. But before we do that, an information that's kind of caught a lot of Nigeria as intervention in the war against terrorism, not done with the authority of the Nigerian government. Expert opinion about it. Trust Nigerians would always find a way to move around things. I went around sovereignty, around democracy, alongside Ponsak Fanap on Nigeria's sunset. Followed everything you've done. You're a big disciple of Professor Kris. Where do we start from, Prof? It's been a first day again this year of how Nigeria will be governed. The 2027 election conversation, expecting maybe less of governance this time around and more. And they'll experience some of into Kaduna. The brick conversation as well. Where do you stay? Nobody and forever checked and rechecked. Look at the strength that Nigeria used to have that place. But look at where we are as a nation, Professor Kwaja. 16 years down the line, we've not faced any invaders into so many things. Kidnappings, but so much problem to deal with that we've almost lost our control over the region because Nigeria is not focused on providing quality leadership to this particular bloc. Place the foreign relation under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Book published by the late Chinua Achebe titled "There Was a Country for." But that there was a Nigeria that was respected. There was a Nigeria that and the lead was not wide and globally. They stand on a position. Angola, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. We also saw under the Gowon regime how Nigeria spearheaded the establishment of ECOMOG, and went into Liberia at cost for any country. We bore the burden of liberating these countries from the shackles of rebels. Under the Obasanjo administration, we also saw a reconstruction foreign policy agenda, and that again provided the impetus for us to what we have today as the African Union, the establishment of NEPAD, security architecture. All these were done because Nigeria for peace, security, and development on the continent. The position of Nigeria as a global actor, a successful Obasanjo administration. And to a large extent, you can still see that Obasanjo kept on Africa affairs. And I think for me, the starting point for the ensuring that from day one, we appoint ambassadors to across the world. That they say better late than late. Nigeria today, as on governance and with the face, the high level of corruption, it's funny across this country today. The question is that they are being asked to or to be conducted in this country. That's a huge deficit for them in integrity, productivity, hard work, and commitment, rather than what needs to be done. 10 years ago, life was very case. People are moving, bring people down. 2,000 don't have access to water. The local government chairman, reasonable society. My reading is that the nations they are in, and when you look at the role, that role, they collect monies from the politicians. They sell their moral rights to question politicians. They have become the mouth of masquerading as people that are holding the keys to heaven, to heaven. And the groups are also having their own communities collude, connive, or allow criminal groups to operate. Do have your way. For some, they are helpless. Many of these criminal groups give them incentives. Boko Haram operated in that context where some individuals had opportunity of getting money, friends, state capacity to command respect, to provide for people in state. So when we talk of the Nigerian state, we are talking about a state. We should be talking about a state that is present, a state that loyalty to the country, patriotism to the country, a sense of nationalism will be the defining feature. We are getting to 2026 and less governance, which means we are voted into power or of election. How many years? Nature itself, criminal groups have emerged to fail because the state, it comes to state concerned about the failure of the federal government. But over time, the deficit on its own. The Christmas is also a culmination of a lot of, we have had a situation whereby the Americans are coming in.
Just like you said, the United States president would not call Nigeria a country of interest and would not foreign soil, and which brings into the years that wins. At different times, scholars like you have also questioned why the country within a country, people that now hoist flags of foreign, need an end to this. What have we done wrong, Prof, in the last 16 years that we've northwest or northeast conversation? Now it has almost overtaken reports of kidnappings everywhere. What has the 8 years of late Muhammadu Buhari and now 2 years on to next? Is that a reason to justify?
Have had with Nigeria is this very us as a people, a syndrome. And I'm raising this because identity against Boko Haram. Boko Haram, deliberate mobilization of the whole of Nigeria, a problem of Borno State, a problem of the Northerners to kill Christians, and all that towards understanding and appreciating that we've got entity. To deal with a problem, no matter who you send, that was what defined the Jonathan administration's the big towards addressing a fundamental. Then you know that you are not yet. We still security. So that is number one, and it the Nigerian government. Yes, we have how to also work. That just we competently that the already within men is a false multiplier with a view to ensuring that they build synergy, or what we call the focus situation out, and implement that the armed forces is up and alive out there fighting for this country. Those sectional or regional affiliation deal with. I see the president as president and commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the same way in religious affiliation. And I think Nigeria, where or in the relationship between inspire the people. And inspiration here means doing what they took and take an oath. You must commit yourself to operating in line with the dictates of that oath rather than doing the opposite.
Thank you very much, Prof. Now, let's look at in line, especially for people that have talked about sovereignty, people that have talked about, oh, Nigeria is an independent state. No country should do this, no country should do that. It plays on our sovereignty, especially knowing that speaking a strange language, our borders are not good, our borders are not secured and all of that. What do you make of the last few months? The moment that was the issue that was brought to the board, and the Minister of Defense, the United States carried out an operation in areas that are Prof. Because people have said that, oh, that means the USA can come in, but is this the next step if every other means we've adopted had failed? Or should we have done this even earlier than now, Professor Kwaja?
The sovereignty of Nigeria is intact during and post the mutual cooperation, and when the Nigerian government had an agreement or a cooperative agreement with the United States government to provide that kind of assistance. So that state government just sent its drones or fighter jets into Nigeria without permission by the Nigerian government have a formal U.S. government does something in violation of an agreement. People talk not because find those, for instance, who are in opposition. They might use words that they don't even know the meaning and of sovereignty, where Nigeria as a sovereign entity engages in of civilian harm mitigation with a view concerned about the fact that that's also sovereignty. They are already, yes, do it to the extent that, but we shouldn't seek help from help in ways that allow how countries operate. Partnership is very key. Mind you, Nigeria is a signatory to the 1994. Countries have primary response, but it went ahead to say where a country is and help. But in this context, relationship or bilateral security support for some time is able to protect it to come in under the guise of providing.
Especially with the insinuations at the start that responsibility are stated in the Constitution, which is to seek to the in situations like this.
Number one, an economy or mineral sector that have related with that the very allow an American to come and invest in our solid minerals. And the very opaque businesses where the rules are not clear. So you don't. But again, with the Dangote, yes, he's doing that, which is a plus. We see will always shout, or you confront them with questions to provide. You should not be concerned that a particular country is advancing its own interest. If you don't, we need security. We need to protect our people. And we will look for any actor that can work with us to protect our people. State interest that will undermine our own interest. Then we see that defines how we relate with even the EU is co-chaired. Defense and security cooperation are discussed. People quote that the U.S. government has been given to Nigeria that have been trained by bolstered by U.S. Nigerians don't understand the internet. Google, Ringa, China, Nigeria, Cameroon, Nigeria, Britain.
Well, be 30 to have you again, but on a few months of it brought. Would you moment where the madness got into the boys?
It's so interesting that we live in a continent where huge resource with the opportunity to misuse public resources or spaces. There are communities 30 for health infrastructure. A local government chairman who drives a community of the deficit in governance. So what the people really need, not what they want, what they need. Elites misuse their resources to ask for good governance.
It is not just the choice you make during those elections. It is the choice, even the ones you didn't make. So if you decide not to get involved with the bronze, either ways you look at it, government affects everybody. Prior into your personal life, but for within the public, we're going to move into a new space. I mean, some of us think it's you in terms of things that affect our development as a nation in 2026.
For me, 2026, if Nigeria is a Nigeria that will be able to fight realistic commitment to a Nigeria that is better, a Nigeria that works for all, and a Nigeria that is respected nationally. And
I can imagine how much you have on your desk, and you decided to spend about 42 minutes with us on the show today. I wish I had the time, but I'm sure we'll have that summer. It's not
Thank you very much, my brother.
And I'm sure that good evening, and my regards to everyone.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay.
Thank you very much for staying with us on Mila 98.3 FM. That was a Monday special from Professor Chris Kwaja. Of course, he's made it very clear that nothing is wrong with Nigerian sovereignty at the moment. Whether the United States comes in to offer logistic support or even combat support, it is because we needed it, and we probably should have even done this long before now. And that's the position of Professor Chris Kwaja. Almost 2 months now before I'm finally able to get him on the show today. So thank you very much, Professor Kwaja, for being a part of the conversation. Edition earlier today, the FCT minister responded to the People's Democratic Party. Remember, both primaries produced another candidate, and the party already has another national. Now we're having shades thrown at each other, left, right, and center. I sat in front of the TV today and I watched the FCT minister, talk about a state governor. We should listen to a couple of the things that the FCT minister said. But before then, I would play you that of Governor Seyi Makinde. He also talked about the fact that he's apologizing to Nigerians for working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said he's also overqualified to preside over this country. He also talked about the fact that he won't be working for the president. His former colleague, his in-law, and his friend, a member of the G5, that seems to have a defined responsibility for the other 4 members, except Governor Seyi Makinde. The former governors of Enugu and Abia have both picked up ambassadorial, appointments. Then, like his friends and fans and supporters call him, Governor engagement in respect or in response to studies, Professor Chris Kwaja. If they want to do more to bring peace to the country, they should move on.
We are just the Minister of Power because you want him to help you organize the APC. Help me organize APC in Oyo State. I said, no, sir, I can never help you organize APC in Oyo State because I am of the PDP. Have a government of national unity, a government of national competence, again, this issue of Wike was the exact first contract that Mobile gave to $1 million in my pocket. I was 29, 1990, law school. And then it don't beat anybody. But the real issue is that I was in a meeting, open chat, The president's chief of staff was also against 2027. I was in shock. So I don't like talking about people, and I will not talk about people or talk about events. But I'll talk about the real issue. The real issue is that Wike would like to support the president for 2027. That's fine. It is within his right to do that. Nigeria, we don't drift into a one-party state, and we want to ensure that PDP issue between me and Wike meeting. And I kept thinking, okay, I mean, the president did not ask. He said, look, maybe he was talking about an errand that the president never sent him. So let's watch, let's engage him. Because I told him from that day that within his right, but also it is within my own right to decide within the political space.
That he was not given ministerial slot to say, look, the president said, look, and the president of the first state. Yes. In fact, I remember now, there was a time the Rᴏᴜ had a reception for me in Pʀᴏꜰ here. So when autumn, that was Tᴡɪᴛᴛᴇʀ now in Wednesday replied on page of this paper that why would you say such a thing amongst us? Like I said, frustration has come. And sometimes too, the letter of $1 million problem was the issue that he was not giving, tell anybody. We told him this, calm down. We went and see that. However, something has to be done. Made that. But again, when autumn, just to bring you back, when autumn, the former governor, they went to speak, he said that, look, we are going to support president to do something. I called him. Even if he says so, you don't need to go and react. All he will say, let's call it meeting. This statement you made. It's too early to have made it. For you to do this, you are showing as if there's a division amongst this, because when he looks back, he sees the today is the richest man in Africa. You know.
Back to the situation room on Miller 98.3 FM. Wow. The genesis of what probably necessitated the response of the FCT minister today was the earlier sound bite that I played. Governor Seyi, everybody seems to now be in their tents, and leaving Governor Seyi Makinde as the only member of the PDP still within the party as respectful. Barrister Nyesom talked about the fact that for Governor Seyi to give a proper account of stewardship as around May or thereabouts, and everyone. And the president also reside in the same city. So that's how much power. Become a contractor when he made his first $1 million. But he decided to go in the people of Emo local government during the reception that was held on his behalf. He also threw shades as the governor of Rivers State. And he says he's now APC 001 in Rivers. Well, Wike did not allow that slide. And he says the fact that you're APC 001 or you have that state more than anything else. Well, Barrister Nyesom also said that he was the local government, the interview that he had today, the media pally he had earlier today in Port Harcourt, Church of 5 Minutes, where he talked about how he has managed the resources made available to him. And I'm sure we've not seen the end of this. 2027 is very much upon us, even though we still have 2026 to 2027 indicators will be in 2026. Let me allow you join us. Remember, earlier on, we had Professor Chris Kwaja, a professor of international relations and strategic studies. Does it question our sovereignty? Prof said no, that everything is intact. If you have issues you are dealing with and you have countries that are your allies and are willing to help you, you invite me to you.
Good evening. I'm the first today.
Yeah, good to have you join us, Mr. James.
Once again, compliment of the season.
Same to you. Thank you very much. Hope your weekend was good.
In fact, I have enjoyed the way the prof analyzed it bit by bit.
Thank you.
But I don't want to tell you in the venture into politics. He brought to statistics group. He showed how much he worth and how much on what on the government, what he own and what he is worth. Because up to today, we can spend something worth of billions without anybody. And you don't believe that anybody can be equal with him. What was his worth when he ventured into police? That is only what we want to know.
100-0410. I absolutely did the right, the ones they've declared. I mean, that's a lot of question. How 97? I was thinking the same. Like, you know what? At 29, I was making millions of dollars. What were you doing at 20?
Good evening. Joseph is my name.
Mr. Joseph, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from a Ikotu area.
Okay.
You know what? It's the media that is making Wike popular now. He has overstayed his usefulness. And as a whole are fed up of him. He's going to be pulled out shamefully.
If you're lucky to get you're welcome.
It's not in the PDP.
Pains. I think it was in Jos, where the FCT minister is right now.
Check how many microphones it has at place.
End of this banter. I mean, it's looking petty, Mayo, but good to have you join us. Compliment of the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, on Wike is a man of value. That see, that is out to me a man of integrity. You see, we have people like Uke that they can lose the battle. I'm guaranteeing you that if you never lose, and for people who are thinking the president will do away with Uke, the president can never do away with Uke. Because the president is a political beast. The way Uke won the River State for him in 2023, that is the same way he's going to win River State for him in 2023 to justify the news.
Thank you very much. That they've put that is what the family is about. Well, like, you know what?
People in the studio to be analyzing. For me, I respect Makinde. He was busy. He was busy gallivanting. He was just busy.
Instead that nobody can tell him what to do in River State, and the governor has yet to fulfill that part of the agreement. We keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you very much. This is Malam Bello Usman. I am calling you for Hotoro, Kano State.
Okay, how's Kano today?
Yeah, thank you. Fine.
You're welcome.
How's Lagos?